I personally have been around disabilities and handicap my whole life. I have a first cousin who has cerebral palsy. I've always been able to see firsthand the struggles that these people go through. In my opinion, there is no other ministry like the one that we're doing right now. To be able to show everybody involved that God loves us and that He created the outdoors for us. We want to show the people who don't think they can get into it that this not the end, that their life doesn't have to be a routine every day, that they can break the routine and you don't have to be defined by what you can't do, because you can do anything you set your mind to.
Now, to setting up one of these hunts, we first find out what disability they have. What are their, and I keep saying disability, what are their abilities? What can they do? What are their ranges of motion? How well can they communicate? And we adjust. And to date, we have never had a single person that we weren't able to accommodate in one shape or form or another to allow them to be successful.
It's hard to say that if it helps the hunter or the parents the most. I think everybody gains confidence and they get that. It just raises their spirits to see this. We've had like hunting families, that all of a sudden one of them have a child that's got a lot of disabilities and limitations. Well, now this child and it has special needs can't just go hunting and fishing with the rest of the family. And I can't imagine how hard that would be to walk out of my door, leaving one of my kids at home. Well, now we give them a chance to go hunting with their child.
The story that touched me the most was a fella, Mr. J. And this guy had lived his entire life. He had provided for his family. He was a professional man, worked in the plant. And he went through the whole gamut his whole life. He did what most people do. He went to work every day. He was successful at his job, reached retirement, retired from that job, was going to sit back and enjoy his retirement, and got meningitis, I think it was. And just a matter of a few days, he was basically a paraplegic, almost quadriplegic, with some limited use of his hands. And we approached him that he was in a very dark time in his life, because he had, in his mind, he had no use. He wasn't useful to anyone. As a matter of fact, he said he felt that he was more of a burden than anything else. And he told us later that even up until the moment that he actually harvested that animal, he did not believe that he was going to be able to do that. Despite all our efforts, despite what we show him, he did not think that he in his state would ever be able to do that. And after he was successful, and then he began to share with us what a turnaround it was in his life. And now his family members set him up to, he hunts on his own. He's a regular part of the ministry that we have right now, and he's an inspiration to all of us, because this his attitude is so upbeat. It's infectious.
This year we actually had the opportunity to see a young man who was at the lowest time of his life, who was a brute of a kid, a 14-year-old kid that was 6'4", 240 pounds. It was just a man of a kid who was actually in a boating accident. And when we met him, he was just home from the hospital, and he was paralyzed. He couldn't walk on his own. I mean, there was things he couldn't do. And the first day we met him, we saw this shy person who was very depressed, and you could tell he wouldn't laugh a lot, he wouldn't cut up. And we were on a 3-day hunt with him, and just in those 3 days to when we saw him harvest his animal, and after that, even before that, just being able to be in that normalcy again, and to be able to be among people and at the hunting camp and just having a good time, to see the transformation that he made to the last day was unbelievable, where he was laughing and cutting up.
We provide everything. When we learn of someone and they want to go, their financial obligation is never there. If they don't have hunting clothes, we'll get them hunting clothes. If any fuel that they use, we'll pay for the fuel. All the food, any licenses. When we take them hunting, they'll go, and if they're successful, which most are, they harvest an animal. When they see that animal again, it'll come in boxes of processed meat. Every bit of meat that's harvested is processed and delivered back to that family. And at our banquet every year, they'll be presented with a mount of that animal.
We want to reach the masses. We have a vision of this ministry growing. We've seen what it's grown to in 3 years. We can only imagine the next 3. We want this ministry to be something year-round, that we just do nothing but help people and help people that in any other situation some people might overlook.
This is a 100% volunteer organization. We don't have a single person on the payroll. However, everything we do does cost money. There's fuel, there's licenses, there's food, the hunts themselves. We'll have anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 paid for any given hunt because we're trying to give them an opportunity to be successful. It's worth the expense to have an environment there that they can be successful and they can be comfortable in. And because of these expenses, we're asking anyone who wants to be a part of this organization if they want to support us monetarily, we invite them to do so. And in so doing, you can see, as you say in the videos and from what we've had to say, that you're going to change, your monies help change their lives. Your monies, your sponsorship dollars have helped change our lives. And being a part of this, part of something so much bigger than any individual, I promise you will change your life as well.
Sponsorships will help us grow and touch more people around the country, not just right here in Louisiana. We've got requests from all over the central states and from the East Coast already. Folks sending it, you already read the emails we get, people saying, wow, we've tried our whole lives, how can we do this? You know, we don't want to tell anybody no. We want to do everything we can to give them the confidence to come out and see that they can be successful.